What is going on, people? Welcome back to Double Clutch Auto Reviews, and thank you so much for tuning in for another review video. My name is Mark, and today I am here with this absolutely gorgeous 2014 BMW M6 Coupe. And this isn't just your regular old M6, as if you would call an M6 regular anyway. This one is finished in a Land Rover Keswick green, not Keswick apparently, but we'll touch more on that paint job later in this video. And another thing that makes this particular M6 so special is the fact that it's one of only 68 manual F13 chassis in the entire world. That's right, they only made 68 of these, and they only sold them in the US, not even Germany or anywhere else in Europe. That's quite bizarre, don't you think? Usually Europe is the area that gets all the cooler versions of cars, whether they're European or even American manufacturers. Ford. As far as the looks of this car go, there's no denying just how handsome it is, and I'm not just saying that because Steven's so nice to let me drive his car for the day, but I'm telling you, just look at this car. You don't see these M6s out anymore too often anyways, but especially one in this color, it is quite spectacular. I also think the bronze wheels complement this color so well, especially the fact that the brake calipers are just like a little bit lighter bronze, and then the wheels are a darker bronze. It just bounces off all the contrast so well. I think it's just a lovely spec. Truly handsome car overall. The only thing that actually kind of bothers me, and Steven pointed this out himself, take a look at the front brake calipers. I mean, they look like they belong on this car. Big, meaty, nice finish on them with the carbon ceramic rotors behind them. However, take a look at the rear brake calipers. They look like I just slapped them on after I painted them last night for this shoot. I mean, I don't know where they got the idea to put ones that look like that on this car. That just goes for the calipers though. The rotors still look the part. I guess my favorite aspects of this car are just how masculine but also mature it is. It's not rowdy or ridiculous with any sort of styling cues. No, it just looks sharp and sophisticated. And personally, I think the third generation styling is significantly better than the second gen. And the generation I'm referring to, of course, are the bangle butts. I feel like the Coupe on the 6 Series looks a little bit better than the sedan on the 7 Series, but still, this one, they definitely took it up a notch, and I'm very happy they did so. The front end just kind of looks squished and stretched out, almost like Sid from Ice Age, and then the rear end, of course, emulated the same thing as the front. Even as a kid, I was just like, I guess it's a nice car because it's expensive, but we all knew that it just really didn't hit that mark as far as its styling cues. This generation is a significant improvement over that, in my humble opinion. The M6 was also offered in the F12 chassis, which was a 2-door convertible, and the F06, which was the 4-door Grand Coupe version of this car. And now moving on to the powertrain. This M6 comes with the twin-turbo 4.4 liter dual overhead camshaft 32 valve V8 coming from the factory with 560 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque with a max boost pressure of 21.7 psi. Now that could be bumped up to 575 horsepower if you spend an extra $6,000 on the competition package. But what you couldn't just spend an extra $6,000 and get was this ultra rare 6-speed manual that this specific one has, and of course it's mated to rear-wheel drive. Now I had a hard time finding consistent data for the 0 to 60 on this car, but the ranges that I found were somewhere between 3.7 seconds and 4.2, so let's call it around 4. But I also found that it did the quarter mile in 11.9 seconds at 124 miles an hour, and it had a governed top speed of 160 miles an hour. It was rated for 14 mpgs in the city, 20 on the highway, and 16 average overall. And the curb weight for this spec was anywhere between 4,250 and 4,400 pounds, depending on which options you got. However, this particular M6 has a carbon or carbon stage 1 ECU tune, ramping up the horsepower to 714 horsepower and 733 pound-feet of torque. And that's estimated to be a calculated wheel horsepower of 628 wheel horsepower and 645 pound-feet of torque. And that's an overall 25% increase in horsepower and torque across the board. And the craziest part about this particular powertrain is that that's the only thing that the owner of this car, Steven, has done to it to achieve those power numbers. No aftermarket intake, no exhaust, no upgraded intercoolers, no upgraded fuel injectors, just a tune. People have been getting 850, 900 horsepower out of these engines. But for Steven, this is perfect because this car is his daily driver. He drives this in the snow in New England. I thought he was crazy. Do you even put snow tires on this thing, Steven? Unbelievable. I think he's a mad lad, but you know what? This is his car, and he thoroughly enjoys it. But it makes you wonder, how far could this engine go reliably if you just upgrade some of the bolt-ons between an air intake, a downpipe, intercoolers, fuel injection? When you see that big of a power jump with just a flash tune, really goes to show what these engines are capable of. And taking a look at this engine bay, you can see obviously the dual air intakes from the side with the intercoolers coming up the middle, going right into those turbos tucked nicely inside the V right there. This is quite a compact setup. They fit this engine really tightly into this small engine bay. You want as much of that engine weight tucked behind the front axle as possible to maximize braking, cornering, all of the above. BMW packaged this engine really well. Not for maintenance purposes, but for performance purposes. The original starting MSRP for the M6 Coupe was just over 111,000 US dollars. This M6's MSRP, with the options that it had outfitted from the factory, was over 141,000 US dollars back in 2013. It's a lot of money. Some of those options included were these 20-inch alloy wheels with a staggered setup, 9 inches wide in the front, 10 inches wide in the back, which started their life off as an aluminum finish, but now they are finished in this deep bronze, which I absolutely love. I feel like the color contrast with these bronze wheels, the lighter bronze brake calipers, along with the Amaro brown and black leather interior, it just sets this car off. Speaking of this beautiful Amaro brown leather interior, this leather is also the full merino leather. It's a very exquisite luxury feeling leather that BMW still uses in their cars today. It's got a really nice kind of coffee or mocha shade of brown. Steven calls it the baseball glove interior, and I think it really works for this car. And if you immediately look up, you can tell that the entire headliner is also this Alcantara suede, also finished in brown. It is just beautiful in here. And then when you look down on the door sill, you can see that we have almost this black marble looking finish right here. I adore this. However, I'm not a big fan of just the boring old piano black in the centerpiece. Why didn't they bring this beautiful looking finish into the center console? Beats me. I feel like they might have dropped the ball on that a little bit, because this, in my opinion, looks fantastic. This, on the other hand, I've seen it 1,000 times. You can also see 1,000 fingerprints the instant you touch it. We have one singular cup holder. It's better than none. Wish there were two, but nonetheless, it seems pretty conveniently placed for the driver. Just kind of reach over and grab their drink right here. We also have the clamshell style center console. Decent amount of storage in here with a built-in phone charger. Check that out. That's pretty interesting. And what's really cool is you can pull this out and then take a look at the bottom of it. It says that it was designed for the iPhone 5. Pretty much the iPhone generation when this car came out in 2013. And this M6 was also outfitted with the executive and driver assistance packages, which included the pedestrian detection and night vision. Very, very cool feature. However, Jeremy Clarkson tested this, and he essentially had the headlights on with the night vision active. However, you can't turn the headlights off but still keep night vision active. The car shuts it off automatically, so you're not running with no headlights on at night. But he said, what's the fun in that? You're not driving the car using full night vision. You have to keep the headlights on. We also have the carbon ceramic brakes, as I mentioned earlier, which was a $10,000 option back in 2013. And of course, the Bang & Olufsen sound system in here. A very well appointed and nicely finished package overall. And a feature that I cannot forget to mention that I absolutely love, but Steven thinks is unnecessary, soft closed doors. Beautiful. Steven thinks, what is it about rich people that they just can't close their door properly? To me, this is the only thing that I do gently in my life, is close car doors. Everything else is just full tilt, balls to the wall all the time, no matter what. And if you knew me, you would know how true that is. However, for some reason, Steven just closes his door like a man, and he doesn't see the need for it. Steven did mention that that does add some extra weight to the car, and I totally understand that. But then I said, this is a Grand Tourer. You're not really concerned about shaving a couple of pounds here or there, but we both understand each other's point of view. And now moving on to the trunk of the 2014 M6 Coupe, or the boot, as Steven and his brethren would call it. You can open it one of two ways. You can either push the button on the key fob right here, or with the car unlocked, of course, you push in the BMW logo on the top and pull it up like that using the BMW badge as the trunk release latch. How cool is that? Volkswagen does this too. Nice little touch there from our German automakers. I think it's a very nifty use of space to clean up the look of the rear end without having a trunk latch right here or whatnot, but it's also kind of innovative and it's a neat little party trick. Even more innovative is the fact that the backup camera is integrated into the trunk handle as well. When you put this car in reverse, the trunk badge flips up automatically and the backup camera is revealed. Now I know this isn't your soccer mom SUV that can fit your 7 kids plus all of your luggage and whatnot. However, this is a surprisingly large trunk. The opening is kind of short. You only have, I'd say about maybe a little bit less than 2 feet of space in this regard, but as far as the width, I mean, this is huge. It's also super deep. You can easily fit multiple bags of luggage or golf clubs, whatever you need in the back of this Grand Touring car. Speaking of the vast amount of space you have in that trunk, that significantly impedes your rear seat passenger room. Now, I don't think BMW designed this car particularly for anyone going in the back seats, and it shows. This is more so for the couple on a nice long road trip Grand Tour kind of vibe. If I may, let me show you what it's like getting in the back seat. Even with pushing the seat forward, where pretty much no reasonably sized adult could fit in here comfortably, I'm gonna climb in the back, and you can clearly tell that this is quite claustrophobic back here, and I wouldn't recommend anyone getting in the back of this car, even if you're a child. Now, circling back to the special paint color, the Keswick green on this specific M6, it's quite an interesting story. This car was originally sold in LA in Singapore gray metallic, but it had only 350 miles put on it between 2013 until when it was sold to the second owner in 2017. After transfer to the second owner, apparently at some point it was shipped off to Platinum Motorsports, one of the most prestigious and exclusive car customization shops in the entire country. Whether it's your taste or not, these are the same people that have customized several of Kim Kardashian's cars. And the craziest part is that this paint job was estimated to have cost over $30,000 at the time. It eventually ended up going back up for sale out of Washington State, and that's when Steven bought it and had it shipped back to Massachusetts, where he has been thoroughly enjoying it rather than preserving it ever since. Speaking of enjoying it, let's not waste any more time and take this beast out on the road for a spin. Alrighty folks, and we are off. Electronic parking brake, unfortunate for this car, but it is a relatively modern BMW, so I'm gonna let that one slide. Now I will say, Steven, right away, the clutch is extremely light for this, level of a performance car, slash luxury coupe. Yeah, clutch is very easy to manipulate, easy to figure out right off the bat. The fit and finish in here is of course exceptional for the level of car you're getting. Yes, it's a $141,000 car, but it's not like BMW cheaped out on anything in here except for the piano black. That's the only thing I really don't like. Yeah, and some of the buttons are plastic too, but so what? Honestly, this interior feels like a special place to spend time. And as Steven said earlier, one of the things he likes the most about this particular interior color combo is not just the Amaro brown, full merino leather, it's also the fact that it has the white stitching. It breaks it up in just the right way, instead of just like everything being tan or everything being black, whatever. The tri-color combo of this interior, they did a really good job. The wife isn't gonna be complaining about riding in this car with you. Not at all, especially in comfort mode. It's very quiet. I think, obviously if you want to transport more than 2 people around, including yourself, as well as like storage space and whatnot, this car isn't going to work for you. But if you're single or it's just you and your wife, husband, whoever, I think this car really hits all the boxes for someone that wants to take nice long trips, have a fun, powerful car with a nice interior as well. Big storage in the boot so you can put all your stuff in. You just can't really put other passengers. But overall, as far as like your comfort goes and ease of driving goes, taking this on a cross-country road trip is definitely doable.
The biggest thing is the carbon-sonic brakes. You need to readjust your brain on how they work. It feels to me ultimately how brakes are supposed to work, because they just stop. Into a normal car, you got these on top. When you first come in,
maybe try?
They'll grab you, yeah.
Someone's behind us. Oh yeah, I kind of 50%'d that one too. I didn't even slam it.
Stop.
Oh yeah.
Oh, imagine on a track, it would be really, that's right.
Oh, especially. This is a heavy car though for the track. However, those carbon ceramic brakes, they'll take the heat better. you know, they won't fade as quickly, which is significantly important. This is a pleasure, man. Just in comfort mode, this is this is easy. It's a little bit intimidating when you look at it from the outside, but this car is easy. Easy to drive, easy clutch, easy to, you know, figure out where it downshifts and just kind of putt around if you don't really want to get on it.
The scary thing sometimes is, you know, when you see traction control kicking in a place where it wouldn't normally on a car.
Yeah.
Because it's when the turbos are spooled out.
Oh yeah, and you get that max boost pressure hitting. And these are good tires. What are these? Michelin Pilot Super Sport 4S's, right?
Yep.
That's a good tire. 305s in the back too. That's a good tire, a good compound. That's no slouch, folks. All right, everything now is dialed up to the max. Sport Plus, efficient. We're gonna go to Sport Plus. You can definitely tell that the steering weight has increased from Sport to Sport Plus. Now let's do a little second gear roll on throttle. Jeez. Those turbos really, they build up nice and smooth. You really have to blip the throttle to rev match and downshift. Oh, is that why it's messing with me? Oh. We're gonna try to figure out how to turn off auto rev matching, but no wonder I was having a hard time with that. I personally don't like auto rev matching. I know a lot of people do, but that's just not my thing. If I'm driving a manual, I wanna do everything myself. Now with this engine tune, you better believe that this governed top speed of 160 or whatever it was is no longer. I'm sure this thing can hit probably close to 200 if we're being honest, but don't worry folks. Unfortunately, we're not gonna test that out today, but you know, we'll show you a little bit of what it's got. Second gear pull, full throttle, 3, 2, 1, go. Traction's kicking on. Damn, yeah. And just like that again, we already caught up to everybody else.
It's a silly car to have in the US. Really, its best party trick is from 60 to 160.
Yeah. And holding it at 160.
Holds.
So now we're on a little bit of a twisty back road. Beautiful road right here, by the way. It's handling nicely. It's not that heavy of a car, but like coming into this corner, slight smidge of body roll, overall relatively flat, controllable, predictable. Steering is precise. That was a pretty hard corner right there. Handled that very well. All right, got a little bit of an open stretch. Ready, 3, 2, 1, go. Come on, baby, give it to me. Whoa, you were right. It doesn't really show its true colors until you're really going for it. Kind of a baby pull from first. Here we go. Wow, the rear end likes to get loose on you real easy. Really a nice car to drive though. Overall, I know I've said that before, but I'll say it again. It's just very comfortable, very smooth, very stout acceleration, no problem there. Ride quality is good, handles well, just a smidge of body roll, but overall it's very predictable and precise in the corners. Nice job, BMW. I like it. Wow, that was very easy, too easy to do what I just did. I don't know if this is weird to say, but it almost feels like two different personalities between lower speeds and higher speeds. It's like you just wake it up. Like it really comes alive once you put your foot down in third and fourth. It's dramatically different of a car. All right, here we go, guys. Another big pull for you. I'm already breaking traction. What? Oh my God. There is no stopping this car. Wow. This thing needs to go on a cannonball run. And as far as high-speed stability, it's like this is where it was born to be. This is nothing for this car. I'm not even phased. Right now, I'm in 6th gear, cruising at 70 miles an hour, and I'm turning like 2,400, 2,300 RPMs. Engine's quiet. Even in Sport Plus mode, this is definitely doable for a long period of time without exhausting you. Let's try this. Nice. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this little review video of this handsome and wonderfully driving 2014 BMW M6 Coupe. I have to thank my friend Steven so much for letting me drive his beautiful car today. Steven, thanks for having me out. It's been an absolute pleasure, sure. Pleasure, sure. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and also consider subscribing. It's free to you guys and it really helps me out to grow my channel, so I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you so much. Take care, guys. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.